Alright, so with finishing Leon A, Claire B, Leon B, and Claire A, all that scenario stuff, I figured we have one more survivor that we need to take care of, and that'll be the fourth survivor, Hunk. So this isn't going to be very long. This isn't going to be especially difficult from what I recall. Hunk isn't exactly like lesser armed than his compatriots. He basically has an arsenal and has to run all the way from the sewers to the front section of the R.P.D. station. So we're kind of armed to the teeth and need to get to the front of the station while Hunk and Nighthawk talk to each other. Hunk is a really interesting character though. He's usually a fan favorite. Happens to be a legendary mercenary from way back. I'm already getting bitten, so that's not good. Nothing too terrible though. But Hunk is a legendary mercenary. I believe his entire code name is about him being the human unit that is never killed, because for some reason every mission he goes on he seems to be the only survivor against insurmountable odds. So of course people like Hunk just because he's the certified badass. So that's who we're playing as, but as for the fourth survivor, it's not really anything too extreme that I know of. It's basically just run to the finish, sprint to the finish, if you will, with a few stops along the way. We don't really need to worry too much about certain things. You need to worry about dogs though a lot of the time, who definitely like coming in hot. But a lot of the time this mode is basically just running through things to get where you need to go. So that's what we're going to be doing a lot of the time. And there's currently a guy off to my left. But it's just kind of making use of your resources to get where you need to go. Also, I should probably do this. Maybe. Yeah, we can do this. I need to get to fine status just so that we can make it a little quicker. The further you go down into caution, the slower you kind of get, so don't want to do that too much. We do have one of the G mutants though, who will be a pain in the ass. We also don't want to get grabbed by this guy. And also watch out for the guy spewing the little shits all over the place. We're gonna shove a flashbang in this one's mouth, and then try and run to his right. Again, Hunk's kind of armed to the teeth, so he's got a bit more of an advantage. As long as you actually hit shots. So we take our elevator up. We're going to be getting to the R.P.D, which is where shit's going to be getting a little bit more extreme. We've also got a room full of people coming up, so we're going to need to be careful of that. But we should be able to run across with good enough pathing. Like so. And we can't go in the elevator up at the top left. That would make things a little too easy. We'll need to worry about this liquor coming up though. Who auto alerts to us because he's an asshole. But a lot of things we can just run through. I do particularly like Hunk for his backstory though, in that he's like the unkillable soldier, but he's also kind of interesting in the fact that he's got a lot of backstory as well. Apparently after Umbrella ceased being a thing, he also ended up being a legendary mercenary for hire after the fact. So he kind of continued on with his legacy of doing Umbrella work and actually did a lot of anti-zombie stuff later on. So Hunk has some interesting stuff to say, and a lot of things that he's done good compared to all of the things that he's done bad, which is quite an assortment as well. Hunk isn't exactly a good guy, but he's not exactly the worst, I guess you could say. Like I said, he kind of just does things to get by, I suppose. I don't really know how much exactly that is true, but he seems like he just kind of plays his own side. And here we have Mr. X try and bait out a punch, which you can do with a simple backstep. And I tried to go the wrong way, so that's on me. I believe the right path here is a little easier. Can't really confirm how easier, but it just seems like it. But as long as all of these guys kind of agree with you, you can just go up the left path. And then you need to go through the police office here. And we do kind of have Mr. X still hauling ass behind us this entire time too, so... Gonna do this for the defensive bonus against this liquor, because it will hurt if it hits us. So that kind of keeps us full health at the same time, which really helps. Do that, keep our grenade. Just really nice to have. We're going to want to pull out the submachine gun here, though, for these IVs that are coming up. Because if either of them gets us, it's not good. We have to waste a sub-weapon on it. So, I think the only thing we have is a grenade left. So we will have to be careful. Go ahead and get these guys out of our way. These guys we can ignore and just go through the door. There's going to be a dog over here which we can get rid of. Super simple, but the zombie he was nomming on will also get up, so we're just going to ignore him and keep hauling ass. In this room we got to be careful of. Not necessarily good that I got rid of that, but should still be able to make it work. There's a liquor right here too. We still have our defensive bonus, so we're good. Like I said, Hunk's kind of armed, so a lot of times we'll just be taking out legs. Really helps. That guy we just kind of swing wide, so he swings wide. Try and get between these guys into the door. And yeah, Hunk, ever the optimist saying, just leave me for dead. It's fine. Get rid of that guy at the gate. We're just gonna try and swing by this guy. Hit the Ivy here. Try not to get absolutely devoured. We do have a second of invulnerability when we get up, so we're gonna abuse that. And again, we're gonna have another second of invulnerability, so we're gonna abuse that. basically whenever you get grabbed, you have a teeny amount of what's it called, leeway. I just missed 2 shots, so this is just on me. But yeah, whenever you get grabbed, you do have a bit of leeway to get through a situation. So we're not really going to get through this the cleanest, but we're going to get through it. So that's going to be the 4th survivor. Hunk, not really the hardest character to do it with. In fact, we finished covered in blood, which is kind of fitting. If anybody's going to be harder, it's definitely going to be one of the Tofus. But I didn't want to leave Hunk hanging, because he is technically another survivor, and his story is canon, where he gets out, and Hunk is actually a very canon character nowadays. He was part of the Rockfort training island, that sort of thing, from Code Veronica. He's been in a bunch of other stuff. He's a fan favorite, so I figured, hell, I'll give him a shot. It's been a while since I played the 4th survivor, but as you can see with the amount of shit that Hunk gets, it's still not too difficult to complete. But other than that, that's going to be the end of Resident Evil 2. I kind of just wanted to do the 4th survivor because, well, Hunk is a canon entry and it just kind of made sense. So other than that, you can let me know what you guys think and how terrible I did, and have a good one.